Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are back again with another video, and guys, we are back again with another video today. Today we're going to be doing the iCarly episode 7 review called I Need Space. I know I was supposed to release this on, Thursday, but actually I was taking a break. I was actually bike riding with my friends because I got a new bike on Thursday, and also I just started a new job. I started on Tuesday, and I've been so busy also doing stuff around my house, and I also worked on, on this Friday I worked. So I'm just getting used to being working again on top of doing the channel, because before I wasn't working. I was just doing the channel stuff because I want to make this my full-time job. I want to make YouTube my full-time job, but until I hit 1,000, I won't be able to make money off the channel just yet. So pretty much, in the meantime, that's why I had to get the job, so that way, I could start, putting extra stuff into the channel to upgrade the channel even more for you guys. So pretty much I'm just putting in work, getting used to the new job on top of, me getting a new bike, and hopefully I want to ride the bike soon. I want to keep riding it soon, but, where I live, it's been raining a ton, so I haven't been able to ride it as much. So if you hear rain outside, it just stopped right now, but it was raining a second ago. So, that's, if you hear rain, I'm sorry about that. It's raining off and on. It just started a while ago, but it just stopped. But guys, I'm happy to be back to filming. I haven't filmed since Wednesday of the finale of Loki. So it's been pretty much a 2-day off day. I've had 2 days off of not filming. Which isn't too bad. I'm happy. I would never take a week off of filming. I'm never going to stop making videos. I want to make this my full-time job because I have big passions here, filming and making videos for you guys, and also I have dreams that I'm going to achieve with YouTube and acting and modeling and so forth. But we're going to get into today's video of I Need Space, of episode 7 of the iCarly 2021 revival. This episode was funny. As you guys can see by my thumbnail, I said just wow. Literally just wow this episode. This episode feels so, I still can't get over the fact how grown up this series is of iCarly. I'm so used to the funny, kiddish stuff they used to talk about in the older season, and I just can't get over how much it's grown. Whether it be the jokes they have or the adult topics they talk about or anything about this show, it's just so adult, and I love it. So in this episode, we get Harper and we get Carly, and pretty much they are pretty much Carly isn't okay with how much stuff Harper has around the apartment, of all the clothes she has, of she's using it as her designer room to to make clothes and do all this stuff, and that she's not happy about oh my god, you have all your clothes out in the living room and you're taking up so much space, and you need a place to do all this stuff. And pretty much they pretty much they make an idea of, maybe we could use the loft up in Spencer's apartment, so I could do my stuff and you could do your stuff, and we could just have the living room just as the living room. So pretty much while that's going on, Carly sees a pair of shoes before she makes that idea, and she's like, oh, I like these shoes, can I have them, and stuff like that. And it's just, I just love that aspect of that they can, and also they get at each other, which I do like. They get at each other, and they know secrets about one another, and they use those to exploit them. It's like that funny friend thing that they do. I really do like it. It's very funny. So, they do have that idea, and, when they're up in, they ask Spencer about it, and Spencer's like, I guess okay. Well, he's like, he can't really say no, because she's like, oh, you can't say no, it's Black History Month. And he's like, it's just they use, it's so funny that they do stuff like that in the show. It's like, oh, you can't say no to me, it's Black History Month. It's just funny, the way Harper does that, and the way the show, says that, we're gonna use these jokes, these adult, jokes that, it's just they're using. It's just so funny to me because they're using that. So I thought that was funny how they did that. And so they're using the loft. she is up in one corner, and Carly's in the other corner. She's counting how many marshmallows, I guess she was able to fit in her mouth when she was younger. And then, she's counting, and Harper's just, steaming, but she's annoyed that Carly has her headphones on screaming, oh, 1, 2, oh, God, I forgot, this video was so good, so funny, I forgot how funny it was. And, Harper's just, steaming, and all that steam is building up in the room, and Carly's like, I can't do this, or whatever, when you have all that steam in the room. Meaning that I was just like, can you open the loft window? You've been able to do it before when you guys were, when you wheeled Carly up when she was in the alleyway with Neville, you can open the thing, but I guess, they weren't thinking of that, and it was supposed to be a funny joke, I can't think like this, and that. So I thought that was funny how they, they're having trouble doing this, and they need a place where they can, I guess, where Harper can do her stuff, and she can think and make, designs and do all these things. So that's pretty much the main premise. They're trying to find a place where Harper, it needs to find a place, and Carly can find her place to film and do things. So, even though, I guess, but mainly it's about Harper trying to find a place. So that's where Spencer's new girlfriend, his new girlfriend is called, Argentina, and she owns a company called, it's called, I forget what it's called. It's called I forget what it's called. It's called it's a weird company name. I could tell you that. It's called, oh man, it's gonna bug me. I gotta look this up. iCarly episode 7. Okay, I don't want the old iCarly, I want the new one. 2021. There you go, episode 7. Okay. Company. Is it gonna tell me? Is it gonna tell me? I have no clue. What's it gonna tell me? I forget what it's called, but it's called I think it's called something. I don't know what it's called. It's gonna annoy the crap out of me. I'm gonna find this out, guys, from my sister, and then I'll be right back. So okay, guys, it's called Leaping. So she's like, we're leaping into the new generation of women, and this and that, and she's talking about how I guess she wants Carly and wants Harper to join her her company. She wants because it's a company, I guess, where they have a juice bar, and they have screaming nest pods that they could scream and pretty much show their and pretty much express their inner anger without no one hearing them, and this and that. It's all about getting together the women community and all this, and and she's just all about getting together as unity and doing all these things. So she's and she's into art and everything. That's how she ran into Spencer, but she ran into Spencer at the art place and all that. So when we hear them upstairs and they're fighting about the whole Harper steaming her dress, and Carly screaming about how many saying how many marshmallows she has in her mouth when she was younger, and she said also this was it shows as an adult going with the adult tone. She says, "Oh, you'd be surprised how many things I could fit in my mouth," or something. She said something like that. And I think she said something like that. I was like, "What the?" Okay, it's adult stuff right here. It's shit. Okay, and then she said, so they're bickering upstairs. Spencer has Argentina downstairs, and they're talking about he's trying to flirt with her, and she's like, "Oh, I have a surprise for you," and it's an egg. And it has her voice. She's like, I do the voice of the egg. It's like an AI, for your house. It's like an Alexa almost. She's saying that pretty much, and it's just saying oh, Spencer needs a breath mint, because she's introduce yourself, and she's like, oh, he's like, I'm Spencer. I'm Mr. Spencer, and she's like, you need a breath mint and all this stuff, and it's just funny jokes that the thing isn't for Spencer. How nothing ever works for Spencer, so pretty much even that AI a homing device is gonna still say he needs a breath mint or say something that's even though that's not what he asked. It's classic Spencer. So that's going on, and she's like, oh, like I hope I get to meet Carly one day or whatever. He's like, oh, like, are you a fan? Like, because I was a big iCarly fan. He's like, oh, really, you were? And she's like, yeah, I'm a fan of everything. I've watched everything. And they end up coming downstairs, and he's like, oh, there she is. So she's like, they're fighting. She's like, girls, what's going on? She's like, and then they're going back and forth. She's like, you guys pointing at one another and saying one another's problems isn't going to solve anything. And she's like, why don't you guys come, and get a membership to my company or whatever, and it helps you so you can have your space and you could do things and focus, and you can, it'd be nice if you joined too, like we could, do videos together and do this and that. So pretty much, they end up going to the place. And she's showing them around the juice bar, the nesting, the nest pods, and pretty much showing that this is the best place for you guys. And pretty much Harper's all ready to spend her money and be like, yo, I'm down to join this place, this and that. And then Carly ends up running into her friend that's saying, don't leap in, do not leap in. She's like, like taking her aside, don't leap in, it's, this and that. And pretty much, like saying, like, this place is bad. Like pretty much trying to warn Carly, don't join this place, it's bad news. And then right before she's trying to explain to Carly really what, why not to join, that's when, Argentina ends up coming over and says, oh, like, oh, why are you late for your yoga class? And she's like, yes, I am. Sorry. Thank you. It just walks off. And pretty much already right away, Harper's ready to sign up, because of everything. But already, Carly's like, no, never mind. I'm gonna, sorry about that, guys. She's like, I'm gonna, take a step back and maybe see if I want to join or whatever, this and that. But also, I love how while she's trying to say there's something fishy going on, one of my friends said I shouldn't join or whatever, and Harper's already trying to join, and you're spending so much time at that place, and pretty much like I guess Spencer's like, oh, calm down, Nancy Drew. Nothing is wrong with the place. She's like, that's a compliment. Nancy Drew is one of the best. She has all the TV shows, and she's smarter than everybody. So that's actually a compliment. And I just love that, and that it's like she feels like there's something sus going on, which there is something sus going on as we can find out from that. So so she pretty much goes in. She's trying to she goes in again, I guess, with Harper. And I guess Harper has been staying up all night, I guess, not getting enough sleep, I guess, because she's working on her, what do you call, her designs. And, we end up running into, I could be having this out of order, I think I am, but then next thing you know, I guess we run into the girl that, Amanda Cerny. I know her, she's a YouTuber, and, everything, we see her. And I was like, oh my god, it's Amanda Cerny. Oh my god, this is funny because we saw, Alex Wasabi in another episode. So I was like, okay, they're really trying to, show the platform of social media. They're really trying to bring in social media stars into this show. So we see Amanda Cerny and somebody else, and I guess she knows them. And then they're trying, and I guess they're making flower bouquets, and I guess she's like, Argentina's there, and she's like, have the red rose in the center to show the blood oath or whatever. She's like, oh, they almost had me until the whole, put the red rose in the middle, and it symbolizes a blood oath or whatever. It's just like, it's a little creepy. And then, so next thing after that, pretty much, she just really thinks there's just something, suspect going on. So she ends up wanting to go back in and investigate. And that's when, Spencer says, oh, calm down, Nancy, you're this, and that. And pretty much, she ends up going in there, rolling around, crawling. And I'm a big fan of, the spy things of, Nancy Drew, the movie that, what was it, that Emma Roberts was in. And, I was a real big Spy Kids fan when I was younger. So anything spy things related, I'm a big fan of. So we're seeing Carly being a spy, doing all these things, trying to get into the one door no one's supposed to go in, which is, Argentina's office. It was funny to see that, and then she gets caught by the two girls, gets caught by Amanda Cerny and the other girl. I forget their names in the show, the people, the characters they were playing, but they were Carly's friends, I guess, people she knew at least. So, while, that's happening, she's like, oh, I was, stretching, and she's like, Amanda Cerny's like, oh, you're the most healthiest person I know, like, what are you talking about? And then she's like, oh, I forgot my sweater here. Can you guys go? Where's the lost and found? She's like, oh, can you guys go check? And she's explaining. She's like, oh, it's denim and it has these strims of leopard, this, and that. She's like, oh, it sounds cute. And she ends up going. And she's like, oh, can you go help her? I like to, I'd like to be alone or whatever. So it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then she ends up going off, and she's trying to get in the office. Ends up, getting into the office, seeing all of these pretty much these screens that I guess she's spying inside the pods that of the privacy pods that are like you could just just release your stress and everything that's going out throughout your mind. And pretty much she's doing like what's cell phone companies doing everything, or what the government does, is where they're like taking information and they're pretty much trying to use that to make you buy more things. And pretty much she's scamming people, trying to use that, and when it's illegal doing that. And she's like, oh, it's not illegal, the government does it all the time. And she's like, I'm using this, to, make my company even better. People will buy anything if it's willing to help them with their problems. And she's like, I'm going to expose you for a fraud that you are. You're invading people's privacy. She's like, if you do that, I'm going to erase, I'm going to erase Harper's shit, like, her designs. And I love how she's like, oh, before she says it, she's like, I'm gonna show you for the fraud that you are. She's like, listen here, bitch. And I was like, whoa, because earlier, going into what Freddie and Millicent go through in this episode, they go through a lot because Spence, Freddie signs her up for the Sunshine Girls, which we know them from the older seasons of iCarly. So that whole thing is back, the whole Sunshine Girls and the fudge balls, selling them. And Millicent's like, oh, I'm gonna outsell you. I bet you I can outsell the Sunshine Girls. And she's like, oh, let's have a bet. She's like, oh, I'm gonna sell my own fudge balls. And she's like, you can't do that, or it's legal problems. We could sue you. And Freddie's like, oh no, we'll sell something else. And while they're selling cupcakes and doing all this thing, pretty much Millicent has like what do you call going on? She has she's pretty much doing slave labor almost. She's not paying those girls doing anything. She's pretty much forcing them to make cupcakes, and for her benefit, just to outsell the Sunshine Girls. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, we're really getting to some adult shit going on. Because Millicent reminds me so much of Sam. Of like how Sam did that with the whole clothing. I guess their merch or whatever. Or like the fat cakes or whatever. Remember that episode, guys, where she did that, like the slave labor stuff in the basement of the building? I feel like that's so much what Millicent is doing. She reminds me so much of Sam. And well, those girls, before she said she's gonna, sell the fudge balls and the Sunshine Girls, she, she's a part of it. They're having a meeting, and in Freddie's mom's apartment, I guess Freddie's apartment, or you could say, and they're all showing on their boards of where they want to be in their future, or like I guess their vision boards. All of them show rainbows and everything, and when you get to Millicent, it shows gold bars stacked up. It shows, I guess, what do you call? I guess, what do you call? I forget the word for it, but I guess like an agreement, like, oh, if your spouse dies, you get all their money and stuff like this, and she's just so like it's just so funny to me. It's just like she has that crazy vibe, like, oh yeah, when my spouse dies, I'll get all his money, like this and that, but like a very devious vibe, like Sam and stuff. So I find that very entertaining to see, Millicent do all this stuff, and it keeps Freddie on his toes, and it's just very funny to me. So, while that's all going on, she's not happy about being at Sunshine Girl, but Freddie wanted her to do it, and she's like, oh, like, this is my purpose, I'm gonna outdo the Sunshine Girls, outsell more than them. So she's doing the whole slave labor thing, making them do all the cupcakes to outsign them, I guess, sell them, essentially. So, while that's going on, I guess Freddie takes over and takes it too far and says, pretty much is saying, oh, we're not going to use your logo, Millicent, we're not going to do that. I'll put it on the fridge, but I'm not going to put it on the box. Oh, Millicent was the head of the operation, but now, I guess, Freddie's the CEO, he is the head of the operation. He takes it too far, and Freddie's like, this is the only time I really get to spend with you. That's why, I tried to do it, but I guess I took it too far. And she's like, well, you could still be my dad, but you're not going to be the CEO anymore. And she's like, oh my god, you called me dad. And she said it twice, but she said the first time she said, she's like, you're my, you're my like something something slash dad. She's like, oh my god, he's like, oh my god, you call me dad. And he's like, oh, there was 2 words in front of that. Chill out. And then after that, she's like, you're not involved anymore, but you could still be my dad. And he's like, aw, and he's like, yeah, or whatever. So I love how we really get more of the bonding between Freddie and Millicent, and how they're getting closer. He's bonding with her more because he could really never get on that level of like them bonding because she never wanted to bond, and like, it was the first time she's ever called him dad. So he really was feeling himself at that moment. You're like, yeah, I'm so happy. That's the first time you said that, and he really feels like he's bonding with her. So I really appreciated that side of things. While also Carly's trying to tell everybody that Argentina's a fraud and everything, trying to convince Spencer. Spencer doesn't believe it. He's making a sculpture for her to get out of, I guess, some sort of money problems, I guess, or something. Or so I guess it was convenient that to make a sculpture for the place to get out of those problems, I guess, of the legal problems or something he was going through. So while all that's going on, pretty much, while she's trying to, say that, she's threatening her, saying, I'll delete your stuff, if you, tell everybody I'm a fraud. So pretty much she's like, you're going to help me, get your followers and be on your platform so I can, build my following up, and you're going to work with me. And pretty much she's like, okay, fine, or whatever, and she ends up going back to the apartment to film a video for iCarly to use, Carly's followers to expand her horizon and get her followers in to be the biggest global ever. So pretty much while that's going on, Harper's back at, she's back at the place with Spencer, and Spencer's bringing in the sculpture, and he has this that helmet that has the light or whatever, as we all know, like the alarm. And, I guess that the egg goes off or whatever, or the helmet goes off, and he ends up running around the place, making noise, doing all these things, doing Spencer things. And he ends up hitting the door of the office. I said to my sister, I'm like, isn't it the office that's always locked, that no one can go in? And pretty much, that's when Harper and Spencer see that, she's been looking at everybody's privacy in the nesting pods, and pretty much she's a fraud, and she can hear, and apparently she has a camera in Spencer's apartment, which is probably that egg that she gave to Spencer. So, she's like, oh my god, she's like that, he's like, oh, that's not creepy, she's looking in on me, and this, and that. She's like, I still love her, though, or whatever, and this, and that, or I still like her. And she's like, no, we're gonna get some juices. And he's like, oh. And he's like, I'm gonna get one for her, too, a green juice. He's like, oh, no, I still like her, God, or whatever. And they end up running out, saying they have to help Carly, and they end up getting there, and, she's sitting at the camera, and Argentina's like, what's taking you so long? She's like, oh, I don't usually do this. I have, Freddy do this. And she's like, oh, you really need a man to press a button or whatever? And she's like, oh my god. And then, but she's just stalling for time, setting everything up to pretty much get her confession. And next thing you know, we see Harper and Spencer walk through. She's like, oh, no, stop it. We're here to save you. And she's like, oh, I was going to get you a green juice, but I didn't get you a green juice. But, I still like you. You know what I mean? If you could try to, show me. Like, Spencer's trying to do anything he can to pretty much make this girl's craziness or whatever so he could date her. That, he's so desperate. He's like, oh, I'm going to ignore all that if you can explain to me, and we can still be, boyfriend and girlfriend. And she's like, oh, I was just using you to get to, Carly and her followers and this, and that. She's explaining her why she did everything and this, and that. And she's like, okay, now film. And she's like, oh, she's like, I've already been filming. I'm going to use this against you if you don't leave us alone and if you don't give Harper back her drive. And she's like, okay, fine. So she gives Harper back her drive. And then pretty much that's essentially how this episode ends, essentially, is that everything is all fine at the end. This was a really great episode. I really did enjoy it. It was really nice to, get back into, get this review up for you guys. Again, I'm sorry, guys, it was a late review, but I just really had the blast with the jokes, with I really appreciate learning more about Harper and Carly's friendship, and and how they know so much about each other, and they use that against each other, and they do all this stuff, and knowing that even though Spencer's rich, he still has girlfriend problems. He still can't anytime he gets a girlfriend, it's usually a crazy girl, or usually he ends up scaring her away once something just doesn't work out. And I do love that. But the main thing I really loved about this episode is that seeing more about Freddie and Millicent bonding, and something they could bond over, because they love structure, both of them, and that's what they have in common, is the structure. Because we all know from past the old iCarly, in the old episodes and seasons of iCarly, Freddie was always the person that had everything planned out and everything and was just always the one in charge when it came to things. So that's why I love how they both love structure, and that's what they bonded over. And I just really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed this episode. I love how they were talking about the cult in this episode, because it really shows how much they're really adulting in this show, that they weren't joking when they said it was going to be like a very adult heavy centric, show, which it is, with the jokes that they have, with the problems that they talk about in the world, with them talking about cults and everything. It's really grown up stuff, and really like a real world situation, not kid friendly. They really wanted to grow with us, and I really appreciate that. I really enjoyed the series. I can't wait for a season 2. I already got confirmed for a season 2. I kind of figured it was going to get confirmed for a season 2, because how great this series is, and I can imagine it was only going to just do season 1 of the revival. I hope we get a lot more seasons. That would be great. It would be cool if it got as many seasons as the last series got. That would be sick, but who knows? I guess it's going to get more as long as people like it, I'm assuming. But I really do enjoy this series. I'm really happy I got this review up for you guys, and I really want to know what you guys thought about this episode. What you guys thought about Argentina and her company. So I really want to know what you guys thought about this episode. But also, guys, again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, put those notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, part of this, family here on this channel. We're almost at 400 subs. That's my new goal, is to get to 400, and we're almost there, guys. So, yet again, please subscribe to the channel, put those notifications, like this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought about this episode, and let me know down in the comments below when you guys say I subscribed, when you guys subscribe, so I can welcome you guys to the family here on this channel. But without further ado, I'm going to end this video here. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.